So I got to thinking, guys. Good afternoon and God bless. Good morning or good evening or wherever you are. If you're blessed enough to hear this message, a lot of people are aware of this, but they're not aware of this. So this is why I'm saying it. When it comes down to Black history, when it comes down to like Black excellence, a lot of people don't know where they come from. And if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. And I see a lot of African Americans who really don't understand their history. A lot of white people, a lot of Hispanics, people of all races, even Asians, right? Because I've had an Asian girlfriend before. Her people didn't even understand my history, right? And I'm talking about beyond the Americas. I'm talking about our history, going back to the tribe of Judah, going all the way back to the original Jews, going all the way back to the original Egyptians. We're talking about the Egyptians, right? We're talking about our people all the way going back to Adam and Eve with the Tigris and the Euphrates. Yes, if you actually open your mind, you will see that they're all Black. Everybody comes from Black people. We all come from Black people. Doesn't matter what race that you are. And it's crazy because scientists are just now seeing this. There's a Chinese researcher that actually is helping fund a company that actually went to Africa and started building over there in a lot of the empty allotted areas. And started building. But one of the reasons why he said he started doing it was because he started realizing after doing the ancestry of a lot of the Asian community that he was there in China with, he started realizing, oh crap, we actually come from Africa. He looked at the percentage, he looked at everything, and he said we actually are African if you go back to our history. So you start thinking about that, right? And you wonder why African Americans act, some of them, not all of them, act the way they do in this country. It's crazy because I come from a long line of like entrepreneurs. I come from a lot of African Americans who have degrees and they're intelligent. I got a few Black celebrities in my family. And it's weird to see Black people who don't understand their heritage, don't understand how powerful the heritage is. We don't understand that we had African Americans who fought in World War II. Some of them even built their own planes, right? The Tuskegee Airmen. We're talking about Black excellence. People who have fought for this country. People who have some of the best inventions ever created. Even some of the technology that was built in the modern cell phone was built by an African American. The doorknob, African American. I mean, there's so many thousands of inventions, right? I have an uncle actually helped create one of the first home drills that have an interchangeable system where you can interchange the pieces, right? And you can just swap them out. And it's called the Otis. My uncle's an inventor. So shout out to my uncle, right? And the reason I'm saying this is because, see, no one's going to call you a nigger to your face. Not really these days, right? What they do is they say it in the school system by taking all of your Black history out of the school books. That we have Martin Luther King in the school books, but we don't have who actually killed him. Do your research. We have Malcolm X studied in Black history, but he's not in the school books. Why are we taking there's no such thing as Black history, really. History is history. There's no Asian history or Mexican history. It's all history. Every history should be treated equally. And in America, for some reason, is not being treated equally. It's not being treated the same. It's not being held at the same tier that it should be. And this is the panacea that I'm talking about in America. We got Black people who think it's okay and it's acceptable to be ignorant. It's okay to not have anything. It's okay to be broke. It's okay to have nothing. It's okay to come from nothing. And what you got to understand is if you're not teaching your kid about their history, remember, you hate your child. You hate your Black child. You don't want the best for your Black child. You don't love your Black child. Because if you did, you would teach them about their history and you would teach them about the value of an African American. A Black child is not Democrat nor Republican. Stop pushing it on your child. If a Black child wants to be a Republican, they can be one. If they want to be a Democrat, they can be one. If they want to be a pilot, they can be one. We have to start teaching our children to start thinking with a non-monolithic mindset. And that's the biggest thing with African Americans is they're thinking with a monolithic mindset. Because guess what? You've been taught through affirmative action, right? You've been taught through all these different programs that the government has created, right? To keep people in the hood, but yet they funded crack and cocaine and all this other stuff back in the 80s and created the crack epidemic. which JP Morgan Chase just got caught with millions of dollars of cocaine. This has been happening for years. So where'd they get it from? So they're making the money and they're getting you to sell it. And you're getting this much of the profit. See that? It's nothing. And that's the thing that's going on. So I'm going to continue to keep pushing for black excellence. I'm going to keep pushing that people understand their heritage. Everyone should understand where they come from. If you don't understand where you come from, you don't know where you're going. People need to know. It really doesn't matter what the real ethnicity of Jesus Christ was. Okay. In the hindsight. In the hindsight, it doesn't. But for future reasons, it does. Because if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. You don't know the tribe in which Jesus was a part of. You don't know what color he really was. It's mentioned in Revelations. It's mentioned through the Bible a few times. And a few other written texts that were taken out of the Bible. So this stuff is very important. Why is it important? Because if you study the history, if you go back to Deuteronomy, you go to other parts of the Bible, you start seeing almost like a prophecy of what was going to happen in the 15 and 1600s with the slave trade, when you had over 30 million Africans that were taken from Africa, many of which died during the slave passage and came to America. 20, 30 million people. So we got to start thinking, man. We got to start teaching the next generation of what's going on. And if you're a young African American or whoever you are who's watching this, like, heed my warning. If you don't start teaching yourself where you came from, you will never understand where you're going. Because you're not the only one that's been through that situation. There's many people before you that have, but because we don't want to pick up a book or even Google anything that makes sense, aside of I just hate Trump crap, start filling yourself up with knowledge. You'll start understanding how people move. Maybe the president will make sense to you. Maybe the future president will make sense to you. Maybe your past will make sense to you. Maybe what happened in your childhood will make sense to you. Maybe what happened in school will make sense to you. And then we can fight the second battle. First battle is knowledge. The second battle is applied knowledge, because we're not applying what we know. And the third battle is African Americans fighting each other. Killing each other. And don't worry, white people are doing it too. We're killing each other almost at the same rate. 80% of African Americans are killed by African Americans. It's almost the same statistics for all races. Why is that? Because we kill in proximity. You kill who you see. And that's the evil of financial segregation, economic segregation. We got to start making more and doing better so we can move forward. That's all I got to say. Have a blessed one. Have a blessed day. Have a great night.